Welcome back to EZ KSP. This is KDreezy from KDreezy Gaming, and this is part 3 in our series. So hopefully you guys have built up a little bit of science from all your contracts that you've been doing as far as hauling and testing at the launch site, testing in the atmosphere, things like that. And so what we're going to do now that you have those other 4 unlocked is unlock general rocketry. And then we are going to build a small rocket which just gets us up above the atmosphere where we can get a little bit more science, just as I have right here. I have this small rocket that has 4 of the smaller fuel tanks and just a basic engine on there, a few fins, and our mystery goo containment systems. And we are going to try and collect some science before we leave the atmosphere, which is at 70,000 meters, and then once we get past that point, the 70,000 meter mark, then we are considered actually being in space, and then we can collect more science after that. And so as you can see here, I'm collecting some science, and I have the mystery goo containers, and I also have the atmospheric barometers on there, so we can take some of that data and we can do a crew report. But since we don't have an antenna on this system, or on this vehicle rather, we cannot do multiple crew reports in one mission. Once you get a antenna or some sort of relay station, then you can do a crew report and send it down to base and then do another crew report. But now that we're past the 70,000 meter mark, you kind of get that sound, the music that makes you feel, explorative, like a scientist, all that good stuff. And you can do an EVA if you have upgraded the proper buildings to do so. I can't remember which building it is for sure to be able to do EVAs, but as long as you have that, you can do that and do an EVA report outside of your capsule. So for right now, we are just waiting until we hit the atmosphere again, and once we hit the atmosphere, then we are going to be as safe as we can, deploy our parachute, and land back at Kerbal. Alright, so now we're below 70,000 meters, and what we are going to do is try to keep our heat shield pointed down, and this is going to protect us from the extreme temperatures and pressure of re-entry into the atmosphere. As you can see, we're going close to 1,500 meters per second in orbit, and so when we hit the atmosphere, we're going to be going very fast, and it's going to generate a lot of heat. So you want to keep that facing down, and once you get below about 350 meters per second, you are pretty much safe to deploy your parachute. You don't want to deploy it too early or that heat will just burn it right up. So my general rule of thumb is to wait until you're below 300 meters per second. And as you can see, once we get into thicker and thicker atmosphere, you're going to see that meters per second, that velocity go down extremely quickly. And so once it says safe to deploy, when you right click on your parachute, you can go ahead and deploy it and then land and recover your vessel. Once you do that, you're going to want to research the basic science, and then we are going to build a small science capsule, and I am going to show you how to use sub-assemblies. So what we are going to do is just have our standard capsule and then attach a Science Junior, which is a new piece of science equipment, and then we are also going to attach a cargo bay, which will protect all of our science experiments from the atmosphere and getting hit, knocked off of your spaceship. So this kind of helps just keep them inside rather than on the outside like we've been doing. And so what I do is I open up the doors and place 2 of the mystery goo containers, and then 2 of the barometers, and then also 2 temperature gauges, so that we can get as much science as possible on each mission that we go on. Alright, so once you have that all put together, what you want to do is hit that little arrow tab, go over to sub-assemblies, and then you're going to drag and drop that whole section into the little drop zone. And then we're just going to click here and name this. We'll name it Science Package, just so what that does is later on when you want to build another vessel and you have your capsule all up and ready, you don't have to build that entire package again. All you have to do is go into your sub-assemblies and you can click and drag that onto your already built spacecraft. And so that just saves a lot of time later on. And you can do sub-assemblies for practically anything as long as it's not a command module. Alright, so once you get that science package all put together, go ahead and attach a rocket onto it, launch it up into space as high as you can get it, and collect more science. And you are going to want to do a few more contracts to get some more money and some more science. And once you have enough, you're going to want to unlock the advanced rocketry tab, which will give us an engine and a few other parts which will be essential to a future mission. Alright, and then another thing I haven't really talked about yet is upgrading your buildings. And so you're going to have noticed that in order to do EVAs, you're going to have to upgrade one of your buildings. And also as you go, you're going to need to upgrade your launch pad. You're going to have to upgrade your vehicle assembly building, which those two will allow you to launch bigger and bigger vessels. And then also the other buildings allow you to have more contracts, for instance, or to be able to have object tracking, or to be able to take surface samples. And so all those things are going to be pretty well, useful later on. And so for right now, you don't really have to worry about it too much, but if you find that you're needing to upgrade something because you can't build a big enough rocket or whatever it is, go ahead and do that. And just make sure that you have enough money to continue your career, because sometimes people will upgrade all their buildings and run out of money, and then they won't have enough money to build another rocket for their next mission. And so you just kind of have to keep an eye on that. And besides that, I think that is all I have for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. And good luck and have fun.